The San Antonio Spurs announced that De'Aaron Fox will undergo season-ending surgery on Tuesday for tendon damage in his left pinky, according to Shams Charania of ESPN. This is great news. I have to say, as a Spurs fan, I am not devastated by this, more so hyped about this for the obvious reasons, which is the Spurs were going nowhere with De'Aaron Fox this season. They might have been able to make it as a 10th seed in a fringe play-in game, but what's the purpose of that? Without Victor, trying to get into the playoffs is pointless, and that they should be trying to tank as hard as they can to get the highest pick possible, which possibly could be Cooper Flagg if they get the number one pick through some miracle. Even if it's not and they just get like some pick in the top 10, it's still good for them to get the best player available. With this being another losing season, there's potential to salvage this season in the sense of getting a good pick, at least to compensate for losing Victor for this whole entire season. So this is a great move. I felt the Spurs should have done this earlier, but I think they were just trying to see what De'Aaron Fox can bring to the table by playing him in these last several games. Last night, he had a near triple-double, but I think they saw what they needed to see last night and decided like now it was officially time to end the season, considering that Fox had been playing with this pinky injury throughout the year, and that now was the time to finally shut him down, which I thought they should have. They should have done it earlier. You just never want to risk injury for no reason or further aggravating the injury. So this was a great move, just like I said, because it helps them increase their chances of getting a higher pick. But it also does another thing. It allows Stephon Castle to have a better chance of winning Rookie of the Year. Now with Fox being gone, I think it's going to increase his chances where he should be a lock, that he's going to get more shot attempts, more opportunities to pad his stats. And that's something I want to see. I want to see Castle get Rookie of the Year. Just as a Spurs fan, I think it would be great to see the Spurs get back-to-back Rookie of the Year awards, just so they have something to build off of. And I think it's just good for the fans that they need something. I know as a Spurs fan, we're used to winning championships, but those days have long passed. So we need something to keep going. Even a tiny award like getting Rookie of the Year would be great for the. I'm trying to think of that word. Just great for positivity, just for Spurs fans. It may give them some positive momentum, I would say. So that's the biggest reason. Second biggest reason I would say is just Stephon Castle's chances of getting Rookie of the Year increased now with De'Aaron Fox being out. I think now the next thing that's great about this is that it allows the young players to continue to develop, continue to see if they can get better. I'm looking at guys like Sochan, and just I would say maybe Devin Vassell can get slightly better. I don't think so, but I would say that's one of the things. It's mainly just Stephon Castle and Sochan continue to get better. The third thing I think that's great about this injury is it allows some guys to stat pad. Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. They can pad their numbers, inflate their numbers to the point that maybe they can become valuable, tradable assets at the end of the year, where Spurs can package them in a major trade to get another all-star legit player or some other good players in exchange in a three-way trade, maybe a draft day trade. You never know. There's a lot of potential when you have guys who are valuable trading assets. The Spurs could have that by just getting them to increase their value. So I think they win that way too. And also I would say it allows the Spurs to get a look at Mitch. They're the coach of the Spurs, currently the interim coach, and see what stuff he has up his sleeves. Granted, they're not going to win games, but to get an idea if they want to stick with this guy for the future or do they want to go with a completely different coach. I am one of the belief that Pop will not be back next year. I think he's done. I really do. And if he does come back, I don't think he's going to last that long anyways, to be truthful. I just don't think he'll have a full recovery ever from the stroke he suffered. To me, this is the end of him, and I think the Spurs are kind of in denial of that, but during the summertime, they'll have to face up to that reality. So for these few reasons, I think this was a good move for the Spurs to have De'Aaron Fox out the rest of the year. Hopefully, it works out for the Spurs and everything I said comes into fruition, but we'll see.